Is mic on? We finally did it. I've been talking about making a YouTube channel forever and ever and ever and ever, and I have never got around to it, believe it or not. I do a lot on Instagram and different platforms, but YouTube has always been intimidating for me. I don't know why. I think it's longer form content is just a different thing. So we're doing it. We're pulling the trigger. I thought I would just sit down today and play with some makeup. I don't have any plans. I have a little bit of time finally for the first time in a long time. So yeah, let's jump in. Okay, so I've already done all of my skincare. Basically what I do is I use a little reusable cotton pad with this glycolic acid from The Ordinary, and I just pat that into my skin. So the two moisturizers that I've been loving lately are the Skin Iceland Cloud Cream and the Summer Fridays Jet Lag Mask. So I've just used this one today and quickly just pushed it all over my skin. So skincare is pretty much done. My skin is going a little crazy right now. I have some breakouts and some weird discoloration stuff happening, but life, you know. So there's so many primers that I've loved over the years, but this Urban Decay All Nighter has been my favorite lately because I am in the sun. I live in Los Angeles now, so I'm in the sun all the time, and this All Nighter primer has been keeping my makeup on all day long, so huge fan of this. I really only use about a pump and a half on the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna put this all over and gently rub it in. All right, so now that we have some primer on, I'm going to go in with some concealer and just spot conceal. I really have been loving this Hourglass concealer. This is the Vanish concealer in the shade Silk. This is a great color for me. It's not too bright and light, but yeah, I've just been loving this. So I'm just pushing this gently on any areas that I want to kind of conceal, especially my spots. I do love this concealer for both like under eye and spots. I think that's why it's quickly become my favorite, is I don't find that it gets too dry under the eyes. I think it does a nice job of concealing any weird redness that I have. I'm just gonna take a damp little beauty blender and I'm just gonna pounce that in. All right, so next I'm gonna go into a mixture. This is gonna be interesting because I have not done this before, but my lovely friends at Camera Ready Cosmetics sent these beautiful Laura Mercier products to me. There's the powder, there's the camo concealer, which I really love as well. They sent some really gorgeous products, so I thought I would do a little review of this stuff today. So I'm just taking 2 dots of the tinted moisturizer on the back of my hand, and I'm also gonna use 1 pump of this Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. It like does not want to come out at all. I'm gonna unscrew it. Okay, this will be interesting. Just gonna add dots of that all over. So I'm kind of weird about sponges. I actually really like this e.l.f. sponge for more all over the face coverage, and I really enjoy the little beauty blender for just more highlighting and concealing. So I'm just kind of going to dip into the foundation and get a little bit worked into the sponge so that I'm not going in straight away with just like a damp sponge. It already has some product. And I'm just going to start in the center of my face and gently push that in, really quick tapping motions, and work outwards. I actually really like that mixture. If the tinted moisturizer isn't enough for you, it's a good little tip to just add in a tiny little bit of another foundation that has a bit more coverage. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with the Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm just going to roll a little bit of that on the back of my hand. So I'm just taking my little beauty sponge and I'm just picking up a little bit of that product and I'm just working it in so that it's not just sitting on top, but it's in the sponge. And I'm going to gently tap that onto the high points of the cheek. And really anywhere that you would highlight. This is a really interesting product. I was just talking to a friend the other day about how this works. It is not necessarily a foundation, not a highlighter, it's a complexion booster. This is gorgeous. I love this product. I use it in my kit. I have a separate one in my kit as well. I just like to put this anywhere I want to highlight, bring a little bit forward, like a bit on the tip of my nose, not too much. And that's it. It just makes a really glowy, gorgeous complexion. All right, so next I'm gonna go in with Bondi Bay from Nude Sticks. So I always see a lot of people just swipe this straight on, but there's something about it for me. I just like going in with a brush. I feel like I have more control and it looks natural. It doesn't move anything underneath. So for bronzer, I like to start just right below the ear. And I'm just gently gonna tap that in. And notice I'm pushing, I'm not like swiping at all. And I'm just kind of going up and down, back and forth to intensify that color. All right, so I'm really excited for these next products. One of my favorite brands, Nude Sticks, who also makes this Bondi Bay. Beautiful bronzer, beautiful complexion products. They make my favorite eyebrow pen. They're just a really, really great brand. They're based in Canada and they're just so lovely. So they just came out with these little plush paints, magnetic plush paints, and they are the most gorgeous things. They're so beautiful. So they just came out with all these gorgeous colors and I'm really excited to play with them. I will definitely be adding a few of them to my kit, and whichever one I like today, I'll probably keep for myself. So I'm torn between Waikiki Rose and, let's see, Saint Tropez looks nice. Bahama Mama looks really nice. I do want to use this one at some point, this gorgeous coral, but not for today's look. I want to keep the base a little bit more natural. So I think to start, I'm going to go in with Bahama Mama and just see what happens. So typically, if this is just you, you can just swipe these right on yourself. For me, because I'm not sure if I'm going to add them to my kit yet, I'm just going to work straight off of my sanitized hand. So I'm just putting the product there. That way I don't get this onto my skin. I think I'm just going to take a little blush brush and dip straight in. Chance is shaking. Do you want to say hi? Hi, bub. All right, so I've just worked that into my little duo fiber brush, and I'm just going to gently push that right into the cheek. And I'm moving it in different areas so that it's not concentrated in one spot. I'm just kind of like stippling and blending. That is so pretty. I might do a little bit more actually. I think these are long lasting though, so I'm really excited to work with them more. Oh yeah, there we go. Ooh, I love that. Nice. Nude Sticks, coming with it. I'm just using my fingers to tap out the edges and make sure that they're blended. Ooh, I love these. I can already tell I'm gonna love these. It is such a pretty color. So that was Bahama Mama, this really nice little nude color. So pretty. I love that a lot. So once I have those complexion products on, I'm gonna go in and add just a little bit of powder underneath the eyes and just where I need to set. So I'm just gonna take this Evolution powder from Danessa Myricks, and I'm gonna go in with my little Charlotte Tilbury powder and sculpt brush. This is my favorite powder and favorite powder brush. So I just tip it upside down, and I'm just gonna work straight out of the lid here, whatever product is on there. So for powder, all I like to do really is just press this underneath my eye. I like to go right around the nose where I tend to get oily. And this is just me. If you love to powder your whole face, man, go hard. I like to do the T-zone, so right in the forehead here. And I do draw on my eyebrows from scratch every day. So I like to powder here for extra long wear on my eyebrows and the little chin. And that's pretty much all I do for powder. Next, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of bronzer for my head. Okay, so as you guys, I'm sure have noticed, I have alopecia, so I don't grow any hair on my head. I don't have eyebrows or natural eyelashes. I'll do a whole separate video on that too, but yeah, that's why I'm bald. Because I'm bald, I do like to bronze up my head and make sure that like from the side, everything looks blended. From above, it's not different than my body, so typically I like to bronze a little bit, and what I'll use is this big, I think this is an old Real Techniques brush, but it's a nice big bronzer brush, and I like to use a a more cool toned bronzer, so something that's not super orangey and crazy. Two of my favorite are the Butter Bronzer. Everyone's heard of this. It's really lovely. But this is from Physicians Formula. And then the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 200 is really nice as well. All right, so I'm just taking my big fluffy brush and I'm just dipping into that City Bronzer. This is in the shade 200, I think. And I'm just kind of at first pressing that into the side of my head. And then with whatever's left, I'm dusting that backwards onto my head. This seems like a weird thing to do, but if you have alopecia and or no hair for any other reason, this is a really good little trick. I'm also just taking a little bit of this bronzer and I'm pressing it over where we placed the cream bronzer. So that's gonna last all day. Okay, so now that the complexion is done, I normally would jump into eyebrows, but because I draw them on from scratch every day, I definitely want to do a whole separate video just on eyebrows. So I'm going to magically appear in a second with finished brows. Okay, we're back. Okay, so the hard part of the brows are done. I'm just going to take a little bit of concealer now in the back of my hand, flat little concealer brush, and I'm just going to work a little bit of that product into the brush, both sides. And I'm just going to go right underneath the brow to kind of carve them out really gently. Like I barely have any product on here. Not a big line, just really subtly. This just helps define the shape a little bit more. So there's the difference. Cleaned up, not cleaned up, cleaned up. I do these brows pretty much every day. These are just like an everyday go-to eyebrow. Some days I don't do brows at all, but most of the time I feel like I could go out of the house right now with just brows. So it's crazy the difference they make. A little bit of a pain in the ass having to draw them on every day, but such is life. All right, so let's jump into eyes. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see what's happening. Sorry, it's so close. All right, so I think that for today's look, I'm going to just start with a little bit of primer. So this Smashbox 24-hour primer is definitely my favorite eye primer to date. It's just really kind of clear. It's not too heavy on the eye. You can see, I'll just tap a little bit on there. Okay, so what I'm thinking for today is actually doing a bit more of a grungier, reddy pink look. So I think I'm going to start with my Visart Grande Pro palette. I'm going to take a pink shade first, right here. I'm just going to press that into the outer corner and the inner corner of my eye. So I'm not setting the eyeshadow before I go in with this. I'm just placing the pink down. And I'm actually going to connect now those two little dots. And you can see I'm just using tapping motions. I'm not really swiping at all. Absolutely love these shadows. There is virtually no fallout there and so much pigment. I think next I'm going to go in with my little 253 brush from Smith Cosmetics. This has a really interesting kind of arrowhead shape, and I love that for just placing detailed shadow in the corner there. So I'm going to now take this darker color and I'm just tapping it onto the brush. I'm not swiping too much. I'm just going to start by looking straight ahead and tapping this right in the outer corner. I'm just going to create a little bit of a V shape at first. This is just adding a little bit of depth in that outer corner. All right, so I'm going to start working on the lower lash line here. So I'm actually going to take that reddy purple that we went in with second right here. And I'm just going to press down to the lower lash line. And I'm going further down than I usually do because I do want this look to be a bit of a blown out, smoky look. And I think actually I'm going to bring that same deeper purple color that I put in the outer corner. I'm also going to tap that on the inner corner and do a bit of a halo eye, I think. I'm just tapping this on the inner corner now to create that shape. So next I'm taking this flat top brush here, and I'm going to dip that into the pink shade that we've used first. And I'm going to just put that underneath where we put the purple. So next I'm going to take a small little pencil brush, and I'm just going to dip into a black shade. You can use this from any palette, and I'm just going to sketch out where I want the deepest color to be. So I'm just pressing that over where we put the purple. Again, in that weird little V shape. Just tapping using really small motions. And I'm even going to dust a little bit of that in the inner corner as well. So that's just kind of creating the little bridge for my halo eye. So now I'm going to take a little fluffy brush. This is the M507 from Morphe, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that pink and purple mixed on it, and I'm just going to gently blend out that line. So now I'm going to take my little Essex Extreme Lasting eyeliner, and I'm just going to put this in the waterline as well as tightline with this black. So now that we have that eyeliner on, I'm just going to take an angled brush and a little bit of black eyeshadow, and I'm just going to go along that line and smooth it out by stamping black shadow along the top. Next, I'm going to take that same flat top brush, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of the black and mix it with the purple to create a deeper shade of purple, and I'm just going to press this along that eyeliner and really try and smudge it in to the lower lash line. Then going back with the Morphe fluffy brush, and I'm just going to intensify the pink beneath the lash line there and smooth everything out. All right, so now that we have the majority of that blended in, I'm gonna go in with Midnight Cowboy from Urban Decay. It's a beautiful golden glitter. And I'm just going to place this right in the center where I want to highlight. And I'm also going to pull that straight upwards here. Next, I'm going to take my little Salon Perfect lashes. These are in the style 663. Going in with my little lash tool from Kasha Lashes. All right, so while that lash glue is drying, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Smith 253 brush and this shade Switchback from this Urban Decay palette. I'm just going to press this on the inner corner. This is just the prettiest like blue reflective shade ever. Okay guys, so we're back. I ended up doing a bit of a cut crease and halo eye situation with a little bit of sparkle on top. And I'm going to take my heavy metal liner in Midnight Cowboy, and I'm just going to go through and add a little bit more in the center. So I'm also going to add a little bit down below, I think, just for a little extra drama. And I'm just keeping it right in the center. And I'm just going to drag it barely down as well. All right, so I just wanted to share with you guys a few other products that I've been loving lately. I have these two lip liners from KKW Beauty. The first one is the shade 1, and then I have the shade 2, so you can see the difference in color. One is a little bit deeper and the other one's a little more cool tone. So I'm going to take the lighter one. I'm just going to line the upper lip right where my natural lip line is. I don't want to overdraw too much. And then for the Cupid's bow, I like to just go a straight line across. And that's going to give me a little bit more of a full appearance. And then I like to take my little finger and just kind of blend that out a little bit so it's not just a solid harsh line. All right, so I'm going to finish off with the Patrick Ta She's Expensive gloss. This is such a beautiful rose goldy gloss. All right, last but not least, I'm going to add some faux freckles. So for that, I like to use my little NYX pen in the medium shade. I think this is an eyebrow pen, but I've had it for ages. I just like to dot a few freckles around, mainly on the nose and sides of the nose. And then for the final step, I'm going to take my Smith 104 brush. This is a beautiful duo fiber angled brush, and I'm going to take my Soft and Gentle from MAC and just press a little bit of that into the brush. And I'm just going to gently brush and stipple a bit of this on the high points of the face, tip of the nose, between the eyebrows. And that is the look, you guys. I hope you really enjoyed everything today. I had a blast doing this makeup with you guys. Let me know in the comments down below, please, if there's anything you want to see in particular. I would love some suggestions. I have a couple ideas coming up, but please let me know what you'd like to see so I can make it for you. All right, you guys, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video.